All right, time to kick off and continue the best, the worst, and the trashiest animes to come out of 2024. In this video, we're going to be talking about the five best trash animes of 2024. And I just realized before going into this video, I thought I recorded a video a long time ago talking about all the trashy animes for 2024, but I guess I didn't for whatever reason. Either way, it's here, right now. So forgive me if I was saying that the whole time back in my worst animes of 2024 Redux video. And this time we're gonna be speedrunning the fuck out of these honorable mentions because I just want to get out of the way the top five best trash animes after all. So without further ado, the first honorable mention that we want to talk about is in the hentai route first and foremost, and that is Seiyoko Suyosuyo the animation. Basically, really cool, really wholesome vibes throughout this whole show, and again, it's surprisingly one of the better, stronger anime shows to come out from Seven Studios, despite what they've been known for as of late. It's really good. It's really wholesome. Definitely give it a watch nonetheless. Next on our honorable mentions, we have Inchikapo ga ya Yugao Tachi to sex train Suru Hanashi. So basically, this is sex training the animation, if that makes sense. And again, it's about a girl and two other best friends who, after finally reuniting with each other after a long distance away from each other, the girl decides to pass on her knowledge of what she knows about sex and making love and going out to her two best friends who are actually going out and actually are concerned about having sex. And it's really cool. It breaks it down to like some really cool, wholesome vibes. And there's some really cool fan service moments that are worth talking about. That's for damn sure. And then to wrap up the honorable mentions for hentai, we have the uh, I gotta make sure I pronounce this properly and correctly, but dropping Garu, let me use her cat. I don't want to say the final word if you know what I mean, because yeah, the title is really kind of giving it away at this point. Again, what can be said about this one that has been said about the other two? Super great, super wholesome hentai vibes, and probably the best hentai of last year. I would argue. It's animated so goddamn beautifully. The voice acting is incredible, and overall, it's just two friends who want to help each other in the best way they possibly can. And it's just really cool, really wholesome. And I am more or less curious if they're going to drop more episodes of the show because it's not confirmed if it's done. But considering they came out last year, it's like, hey, we need more episodes, man. This is like really good. But now moving on to the honorable mentions for anime, we have True Beauty. This one is a anime adaptation, which even though if any of you hardcore viewers at home watch my every 5 out of 10 anime I gave this bad boy a 5 out of 10. But does that mean that it's a bad anime? Of course not. There's still some fun, bad, trashy moments in the show that are worth talking about. It's just that it's not one of the stronger, like, manhwa trashy shows like Lookism, for example. But either way, the show is really cool. It's really stupid. It's playing the whole like okay, I'm a girl that's ugly as hell, and then now all of a sudden I learned how to become beautiful and popular within seconds after watching a makeup tutorial online, and then afterwards she gets everyone from the money, the car, the clothes, the boyfriends, the popularity shit, and then the fucking plot goes from left to right like crazy. Like it's really just trying to find ways to get you hooked on a show, like a K-pop drama in like the cheesiest way it possibly can, but it's still entertaining nonetheless. Next on our honorable mentions, we have My Wife Has No Emotion, which honestly, given the title, given the poster here, it's basically about a dude who decides to get married to his housewife, who is a robot, and they basically work out the kinks and the relationships of how they can navigate towards one another despite two of them being completely different and unable to do what they can do. And it does this in some really cool, wholesome vibes, but in a really interesting but I guess somewhat creative way about like how they can navigate things when your wife is a robot and you're a dude that's just lonely as hell and has more or less given up on trying to find a real life girl. I guess it's cool. It's fine. It's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea at the end of the day, but it's still fun, bad nonetheless. Next on our honorable mentions is Chilling in Another World with level 2 super cheat powers. This my god, this trashy anime has one of the most iconic theme songs of any theme song to come out of last year, and it's super iconic. Trust me, look up this anime, look up the theme song for the show, and you will be blown away by how fucking cute, wholesome, and just holy shit, this is absolutely incredible of a theme song you're gonna love. It's really good, but outside of that, the animation's fire, the voice acting is fire, the premise of the show is about as typical as your power trope fantasy type of anime. It's really cool. It's really out there. And the fact it's under JC Staff Studios, which again is really hit or miss as of late, this is one of the better fun bad trashy shows they came out with last year, and I'll simply leave it at that. And finally, to wrap up our honorable mentions, we have Kimawa Maidosama, or You Are Miss Servant. This one, honestly, despite the fact that it came out at the very tail end of last year, this is definitely one of the better, like, underrated animes of last year. Because honestly, the animation for the show and the art style is super gorgeous. The theme song and the opening credits, just like the Level 2 Cheat Skill anime that I mentioned earlier, is super creative, super out there. And I just think that, like, given like the premise of the show, where it's about a former assassin who's trying to live a normal life and become a maid and protect his new servant that she wants to work by. It's really cool, really wholesome. It is like maybe a Spy Family ripoff esque type of vibe if you understand like what I'm talking about. But Keep One Mail Sama is still like a really good and probably an underrated show that's worth checking out, even if the premise does fall a little bit flat towards the end. It is still like a must-watch show nonetheless for those who are really into this type of show and genre. And now we're here at the top five best trash animes of 2024. And of course, at our number five spot is a show that I understand is getting a lot of hate now after the show is concluded. But for me, at the same time, I still think that this is still one of the best fun, bad, trashy experiences you're going to ever experience. And that is My Dear Friend Nokotan, or Shukadukadukadukashtantan. Yeah, this show is like the epitome of like a shit post, but if it was an anime. That's the best way that a lot of people describe it, and I couldn't agree more. Like this show is super random, it's all over the place. It's really about again the life of our dear friend Nakotan and what she goes through in school, what she goes through with deers, what she goes through with many people that are trying to threaten him. And look, don't get me wrong, I understand that this niche of comedy may not be for everybody in the day. That's understandable, right? But a part of it does remind me a little bit of like Nichijou humor to an extent, but if it got extended way too much, way too long, too fast. But either way, my dear friend Nakotan, while it may not be everyone's cup of tea at the end of the day, which is understandable, this is still like a really good, fun, bad experience that's worth checking out. And while the show does waver a little bit and maybe it loses its creativity towards the halfway point of the show, which is understandable, I still think this is like one of the stronger, weirder shows to come out from Wit Studios in general. And I'll simply leave it at that. Because at our number four spot is a show that I actually have much more respect for in terms of a trashy anime, and that is Isekai Shikaku, or No Longer Allowed in Another World. Yep, so this one is by Atelier Pondok Studios. And again, my love for Atelier Pondok Studios as of late has been at an all time high, especially after revisiting their recent See You at the Food Court anime. But prior to that, they've also come out with like Isekai Oji-san, which is what really put them on the map, in my opinion, and really got me to look forward to every new show. But Isekai Shikaku here is one of those shows that, while yes, it's another generic isekai anime, of course, it's also like really fun and entertaining to watch. Just wonder like, and has like a really cool premise. Like, I wonder what happens if our main character dies on purpose and he gets reincarnated, but he still wants to die after he gets reincarnated. It's really funny. It's also like really dark, humorous at times, and it really has like a lot of world building in the show. And again, the animation for an isekai show in this caliber is still really good, really cool. It has so much untapped potential should this ever get a second season. And overall, like the humor is there, the power creep is definitely there, and everything about the show that screams creativity is definitely there in the show, and I'm just curious to see like how this show will pan out from here on out. Because as of right now, with just one season under its belt, it's only a matter of time to see like where the show can go from here. But moving on, of course, we gotta go on to our number three spot is, which is another isekai show, believe it or not. But this one actually at first rubbed me the wrong way. But after watching a recent second season of the show, I knew that not only is this show going back on it, reflecting on it, is probably in the top three for a reason. But the second season of this particular show was absolutely great and is actually incredible. That just came and went as of right now, and that is I was reincarnated as the Seventh Prince, so I could take my time perfecting my magical ability. Season one, yeah, this one is to this day for a show that came out back in 2024, 1 year later. It's still shocking how gorgeous the animation, the voice acting, and just the overall world at large is. And while it is like a isekai comedy type of anime, yes, there's so many like really good animation moments that just have like some top tier fighting involved, so much like magical like forethought where you get to think of every possible magical angle that you really just want to learn about magic for some reason. Like you just got transported to the Harry Potter world. It's crazy. And on top of it, like even though I prefer the second season now over this first season, this was a strong output for like what was to come for the Seven Prince anime. And I absolutely loved how the show started, how it ended, the way it started and ended was like again, it's like it shows us some wholesome moments and it goes to it wasn't actually afraid to pull off like a really dark and really messed up storyline that at first thought I would think it would derail the story, but it turned out to like play a pretty big role in the lore, in the side characters that came to be. And again, the show does a really great job of making you care about the side characters so much that at times when it gets trashy with its really ridiculous outputs of magic or whatever Lloyd does a really crazy pose that is just super over the top and a little questionable to say the least. It's really good. It's super awesome and just overall really fun show that I think that if you absolutely love the first season, you're definitely going to love the second season of the Seven Prince anime. But of course, if you love those two isekai trashy shows, then you'll definitely love our number two spot. And it's a show that is another manhwa anime adaptation, and it's kind of similar to what happened with True Beauty, but True Beauty decided to go even harder and dumber in the bully route, and that is Kenka do Goku Gaku, or Viral Hit. Yeah, this one was a shockingly amazing, fun, bad experience by Okurutu Noboru Studios, a studio that I hold in high regard as the king of trash anime, and they delivered once again with Viral Hit, baby. This thing is absolutely good. Not only is it somehow their best animated show out of everything they've animated up until this point since their Hidden Dungeon Only I Can Enter days, but Viral Hit is one of those shows that takes like the whole bully concept and it's like, yeah, I've been bullied so much that I'm going broke as a joke, but I realized like, hey, if I make a viral hit and become famous on YouTube, then I can make money, I can provide for my mom, I can provide for myself, I can get out of the shit hellstorm that I'm in. And that's basically what Viral Hit is all about. Where it's about a kid who, after going through so much trial and error, he decides that the only way to become famous and make money and get all the bitches that he ever wants is to make viral hits of beating the hell out of people and starting fights and starting commotions and all this other stupid shit, but basically involving fisticuffs. And the show is really dumb. It has a really cool premise nonetheless because there are some really cool fight sequences and characters that really you would think that are really when you look at our main character in Viral Hit, you think that he's not gonna be able to take down like a retired MMA fighter or a big ass bully who's 20 times stronger than him. But yet somehow, some way in Viral Hit, they depict him so well that he's able to toughen out and take down his enemies all because he learns from the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the chicken head stuck on his head that is like a huge ripoff of Rengoku-san from Demon Slayer. And yeah, a viral hit has all the concoctions and the recipes needed to making a really dumb but stupid fun bad anime that if you're into like the stupid bully inspirational up and coming type of animes, this is it right here. This show has you covered. Like again, look, it's kind of like the sequel to Lookism, an anime that came out I believe in 2021 2020 that ended up being one of the best fun bad experiences I've had to endure when watching a manga anime. And we got the same repeat again with Viral Hit. Again, with its over the top theme song, over the top voice acting, music that's super out of the wazoo that sometimes you're in flight or fight mode. This show has everything you want in like a stupid, fun bad anime nonetheless. But what's kind of crazy is that even though this could be at the number one spot, it isn't. This number one spot honestly is dedicated to all the magical girls out there. This number one spot is dedicated to all the people who endure and love the yaoi anime genre. And this anime is an anime that's dedicated to those that love, how would I say it? Basically, a lot of like fan service galore. Of course, what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is by far the best trash anime of 2024, and that is Gushing Over Magical Girls. Yep, Gushing Over Magical Girls is, I think, unapologetically, is the best trash anime of 2024, and for good reason, because this show does the unthinkable, the unstoppable. It takes your typical magical girl transformation genre where instead of a girl being transformed to hopefully being able to work as a magical girl, our main character, surprisingly in a weird twist of fate, becomes the villain against the people that she adores as as heroes. And throughout this whole journey, throughout these 13 episodes, we see a lot of like really lewd and sexy transformation scenes that are so holy crap, it's eye catching, it's eye dropping to the point that the voice acting in the show is super like you really can feel the voice acting in the show throughout the screen. The fight sequences in the show are so creative, so out there. The animation is also really, really gorgeous. Like this is like what would happen if T Rex Studios, the hentai studio, decides to become an anime studio. Like Gush Over Magical Girls has everything you want in like a fun, bad, trashy anime. And on top of it, it has a really nice and cohesive story that you get lost in the sauce in, and you actually care for every little character in the show. Even the good guys in the show you care about, all the side characters in the show you just straight want to know and get to see like how is each person going to play it off without accidentally revealing their secret identities from each other. It's so good, it's so amazing, and to me I think out of every show you could have probably listed from prior to this, yes, could have probably make it the number one spot, but something about Gushing Over Magical Girls not only push like borderline hentai mode at times, but this was a show that, for me personally, is one of the rare moments where I say that a show of this caliber deserves to be mentioned once again when I talk about my best animes of 2024. But until then, even if it's not going to win the best anime of 2024 in my list, it's definitely number one in my eyes for the best trash anime of this given year of 2024. But yeah, that is about it. That is my list, more or less. And I guess I'll see you all in the next one when I talk about the final Redux best trash anime. Or, my god, I'm already losing my voice. But basically, talk about the best animes of 2024. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Later.